So I literally type in shoes and I come down and I check the shoe deals today. And I do this almost daily, not every day, but a lot of days, right? And you can find some great examples of products. Like I found like New Balances here for like 20. These are 40 currently for like $20. I've also found Reeboks for like $20 with coupon codes. You can resell them back on Mercari, Poshmark, Goat, StockX, and eBay, right? So there's great opportunities to sell all these shoes on those platforms, not to mention Amazon if you do a little bit of product research, right? So I'm going to walk you through that here in a second. But like I said, I like to either come down to the homepage and check what deals there are. So this might be a good deal. Chances are it probably won't though, because Amazon's actually pretty good with matching like game deals. Chances are none of these are good deals, although this Dyson looks kind of promising. But the deal that I found when I type in shoes, right, because I've been buying a lot of shoes, is usually I come down and I'll look through the prices here and see if there's a potential good opportunity that I feel like if I can buy it cheap enough, I can resell it back on either Amazon if I'm ungated, and I'm currently working on maximum approval, which is 2,000 sales in a 6-month period to get ungated in all the top brands like Nike and Adidas and Puma and stuff like that, right? So there's 2 ways to get ungated to sell these things on Nike. Either hit maximum approval or buy 10 plus of a quantity from a reputable manufacturer or supplier. Now, I have since not tried to actually buy 10 of a quantity of from a retail store, so I plan on putting that into practice here if I can get 10 of them today, and seeing if I actually apply, if I send in the application to get ungated with Nike, like I'll show you here in a second, if that will actually let me get ungated with a site or with a retail receipt, basically. I don't think it will, but it's worth a try, because a lot of times I don't like to take people's word for it. I like to kind of see for myself. A perfect example of this is like if you're on a detail page, and sometimes Amazon will be like the other seller on the detail page. It's like widespread across the online arbitrage community that you don't want to compete with Amazon on the buy box. That said, I decided not to listen to that one day, and I tested it out, and boom, I've been making a lot of sales on listings where Amazon looks like they own the buy box, and I match their price, and then we share the buy box. So they do share it with you. So the reason I'm telling you that is I don't just like to take people's word for it. Most people, again, widespread across the online arbitrage community, that I'm under the impression, and I feel like I've heard it 5 to 10 times at least, that you can't use retail receipts to get ungated. But hey, it's worth a shot, right? And the price here for these Roche ones is just too good to pass up. So even if I can't get ungated, I can still sell them back on platforms like eBay, StockX, Goat, Poshmark, and Mercari, and flip them pretty quickly, especially since we're here in Q4 and about to be in Christmas season. These will all flip very, very quickly. So obviously the main, what the retail value of these is probably anywhere from 50 up, probably closer to 80. So what I did is I clicked them, right? And it took me over to, where are they? It took me over to Champs right here. So this looks like it's a retail arbitrage deal, right, in the Champs near me. So it's not an online deal, and I don't usually do that. I usually like to source online. About 99.9%, I kid you not, of the deals that I sort are online, right? But this deal is too good to pass up, so I'm probably going to call them here when they open at 10 a.m. So it's a perfect example of a product that you can get. It's about 9:12 a.m. right here, and this is about 20 miles away. So if I can get 10 of these and the profit margin's good, it's probably like a 30-40 minute drive there and a 30-40 minute drive back. So if the margin's good and they have enough in stock, I'm going to grab these. So let me show you an example of how you basically do product research on these. Now, I know from experience that I could flip these shoes back on their brand new Nike Roche ones. I actually owned a pair of these in the past, and you could probably sell these back on Poshmark or Mercari or eBay for, $80 realistically, maybe all the way up to 100, but I would definitely say around $80, on the lower end to be safe. If you wanted to estimate, maybe 60. And there's a high demand for Nikes on those platforms. So what I did is I basically searched Nike Roche 1 right here in Amazon, right? I want to see what the market for this on Amazon, to see if potentially I can get ungated and what the margin would be, right? Amazon usually sets the market on a lot of these different, other platforms as well. So if they're selling for 80 on Amazon, chances are you could probably fetch close to 80 on another platform. It just might not sell as quickly, right? So there's a number of different potential Roche 1s. We got the men's one right here. We have women's right here, and we also have a women's Roche 1 right here. So I'm not sure exactly which one they are. Obviously, what I would do is I would go to the store, I'd grab them, and then I would scan the box, and I'd make sure that my product's lined up. But to me, it could either be this one, so it looks more like the women's from the picture, although it doesn't really say that, so I would ask when I call. It doesn't. Where's the other men's one? It doesn't really look like the men's. This looks like it's a little bit more like I don't know what it's like mesh. It's like a different kind of fabric than the picture on here, but I could be wrong. Like I said, I'd verify when I call. So I don't think it's this one, but it could be. So it looks like it's a women's one. So it looks like it's either this one or this one, but it looks more like this one. So let's just assume, because they're both around, this one's 90, this one's 85. Let's see if I could sell this back on Amazon. If I did get ungated, what would my margin be? Now keep in mind that, yeah, this is not that, the bestseller rank right here is pretty high, so they're not selling that well on Amazon. So maybe if the other one is a little bit better, I might try. Okay, so this one's almost half. It's like 16, or it's 1.6 million or 1.7 million roughly. Still pretty high, but it is, keep in mind, in clothing, shoes, and jewelry. This one's a little bit lower, so if we go to black and we choose like maybe like 9.5, let's go 10. We'll see what the profit margin is. So 61, so this one might be a little bit lower here. And it is, boom, 8,000. So regardless, we could either sit on products or we could sell them back on another platform at a higher margin, or we could list underneath these, and I'll do these here in a second with you, for 6120, which is still a good profit margin because you're buying them for, so many tabs open here, for, I'm going to X out of this too so I don't get, kind of sidetracked, for $19.99, right? So let's run through the profit margin of all of these. Let's take these ASIN right here, and we'll say, okay, potentially if we sold these for 85, what would they be? And keep in mind, I probably wouldn't buy these and sell them back on this listing because this listing is, really, really high. It's about 3.1 million. But just to give you an example, we'll run through this. We got the Nike Roche ones. The item price is, what was it, $84.99, I think. Shipping to Amazon might be like $1 if we ship in 10 of them at once, and maybe they break it into like 2 different shipments, so like 5 a piece we'll estimate. And the cost of the product is $19.99. So what's the profit margin? Boom. 42.41 for, I'd buy 10 of them to potentially get ungated if I could, if there were 10 of them. So I don't know why I'm going to snip tool. That's not what I want. Let's pull up the calculator, and we'll say, okay, 42.41 times 10 is $424.10 profit for just buying 10 of these. And keep in mind that 10 of these would be, what is that, $200. So I'm spending $200 to potentially make $424.10. But I probably wouldn't sell these back on this listing or the other listing because the bestseller rank is so high. So what I would do is I'd either buy these, and if they correlated and they were the men's ones, I would sell them back on this listing right here. Or I would sell them back on Mercari or Poshmark, which I've been flipping a lot of shoes lately with success. I'm suspended from eBay, otherwise I would flip them there, and you can definitely sell shoes. They sell well on eBay as well, especially Nikes. Or you can use the apps GOAT and StockX, which are clearly just based around reselling shoes, which you can also use to make money reselling shoes. They're both great platforms, right? So then let's take this ASIN back into the FBA calculator, and we're going to see, okay, what does this sell for? So the Roche one's right here. I hate when it does this. Let's find a different one. And you don't really need to get, when you're using the FBA calculator, people are like, oh, I don't know if you click this, I don't know the package dimensions, I don't know the weight. Find the one that doesn't need that, because you don't need the actual specifics of that. You just need the overall weight and rough dimensions of the package that's already in there so that you get a good indication of what the FBA fees are going to be. That's the whole purpose of the FBA calculator. So you just want to find one that looks good. This is clearly the same shoe with the same rough box. Obviously, it's not the same color scheme, but we're just trying to get the rough estimation of the FBA fees and if it's going to be profitable, right? So the item price is, I think, $61.20. So $61.20 if we send it in and we match the buy box, right? Ship to Amazon, we'll say $1. So maybe it costs us $1 a pair for each pair of shoes to ship them into FBA if we ship all 10 of them in at once, and maybe they break them into like 2 different shipments, right? So that's where I'm getting that number from. It costs us $19.99 to get them, so what's our profit margin? Boom, $24.70. So that's still above 100% return on our investment, right? So in this case, it would be $24.70 times 10, because that we're having 10 of them, right, to get ungated. So you're getting $247. You're spending $199.90 for $247 profit margin. So you're basically getting over 100% return on your investment here, because you're spending $199.90 to get $247, whatever the other decimal point was. So you're going to end up turning your $200 into $446.90 by buying 10 of these and then reselling them back on Amazon. So this is a great opportunity right here. I'm literally going to call this store as soon as they open. So they open at 10 o'clock and boom, I'm going to make a call, see how many they have in stock, see if they're men's or women, so I can get a good indication or a better indication of whether they're profitable. And depending on how many they have, if they have 2, it might not be worth my while to go travel there because it's in Cherry Hill, which is like 30-40 minutes away from me. But if they have 10 or more, or even maybe 8, I might buy them. I might go there, call them, tell them, okay, can you put them aside? I'm going to come in, I'm grab them in like an hour, and boom. Then when I go grab them, I would either sell them back on Amazon, potentially if I can get ungated. And like I said, there's 2 ways to get ungated for these. And if I couldn't get ungated or I didn't buy 10, I would simply sell them back on Poshmark, Mercari. You could sell them back on eBay as well, and list them on StockX and GOAT as well, because eventually they would sell, and I would venture to assume they would sell pretty quickly. Okay, so that's a great example of a product that you can buy. Let's run through 3 other potential examples here, and I'll show you, give you a little bit more value here and see if we can find another good product. And I didn't plan any of this, we're just going to figure it out. So okay, what you want to do, and I like to do this pretty fast, you can, obviously take your time and figure out the exact listings, but I usually like to just kind of source pretty quickly. So here we have the Pegasus 580, that looks like the same one right there. Pegasus 5, boom, right, 58008. 58008 Pegasus, same picture. So this is selling on Amazon for $30. So it's used too. So obviously this is new, or at least it looks like it's new right off the bat. And it's selling 1.2 million in tools and home improvement. So that's a bad product. We don't want to go after that product because it's not selling frequently enough. Now let's check this one. This is an example of a product that Amazon most likely has matched the price, because they're usually pretty good at matching prices and kind of on games, or at least that's my experience. So Darksiders 3 for PS4. And Darksiders 3, oh, they haven't matched the price here. So you can get this from GameStop, it looks like, for $9.99 currently. It usually retails at $30. It does not look like Amazon has matched the price yet, which is strange. Usually they're pretty good with doing that. So the buy box for this, and this is not a digital copy, right? So the buy box, it looks like, is $28.89. So what's the rank for this then? The rank is 1,500 in video games. So this is a perfect example of a product. So we took it into Seller Central to see if we can sell it, and boom, we can sell it in new, collectible, and used conditions. So then let's take it into the FBA calculator to see if we're profitable. Didn't mean to do that. And usually I have these plugins right here, AMZ Scout Calculator and Jungle Scout, but for whatever reason, there's like a bug in my Google Chrome, and I still haven't rebooted it since the last video, so I need to do that. So my plugins aren't really working. Let's see if they're working right here. Of course they're not. Jungle Scout is working, thank God, but the AMZ Scout Calculator is not. So monthly sales for this, okay, go away, I don't care, is 205, and the daily sales roughly are 9. So let's see if we're profitable here. If we buy, shipping to Amazon would be like 50 cents because it's super cheap if we're going to ship this in with a bunch of other stuff. Cost of our product was $9.99, and this was 38 or 28.89. So cost of the product is $9.99. Item price is $28.99 or $28.89 or whatever it was. So our profit margin then becomes $9.91. So you're spending $9.99 to make $9.91. That is another example of a good product, and one that I might buy afterwards. I'm going to look more in depth at it because obviously I'm going through these fast. I would check some other stuff, right, to make sure this isn't a digital download. I make sure a lot of other things, but it looks right off the bat, just kind of going through quickly, like that's a potential good buy. Now let's check the Dyson really fast. So we'll do one more, and then I'll hop off. But those shoes probably are going to be a great deal, regardless if I sell them back on Amazon or not, or I sell them on another platform. The return on my investment, it might take, let's say hypothetically I can't sell them back on Amazon. I would still sell them back on other platforms, and I might sell out of them in like a couple weeks to a month, and boom, I still turn my $200 into whatever the return on my investment was for selling them at like $60. So that's a potential like $30 after fees, obviously. So I'm spending $20 to make $30 on each pair of shoes. So I'm turning $20 into $50, if that makes any sense. So let's check the Dyson really fast. So we got the Dyson V7 Animal Vacuum Cleaner. By the way, guys, I have this vacuum. I actually own this vacuum. It's freaking incredible. I sound like such an adult right now, but I'm telling you, it's awesome. One of the best purchases ever. Can't believe, what am I doing right now? I'm supposed to be in Amazon. I'm just getting excited about vacuums. Oh my. Dyson V7 Motorhead. So here you go. Here's another potential profit margin, right? So you got the V7 Motorhead handless cordless vacuum right here. And so where's the other one? Right here. So we got the V, engineer for home and pets, engineer for home and pets. And this looks like it's a different picture, but I know for a fact that the V7, there's only one version of the V7 because I actually own it. So I would do a little bit more product research, but for the sake of just kind of waiting and showing you an example of how to source a potential product, I'm not going to waste your time doing this. I might look after the video. So let's play along and act like this, which it looks like it is the actual product listing. It might just be an outdated picture. The only thing that's different here is the pink handle and the pink top, whereas mine actually has the purple and the gray, so it looks a little bit like this one and not this one. So it just might be an outdated picture, no big deal. Let's check it out and see if we can sell it. And if we can sell it, if there's a potential profit margin to be made. So can we sell it? And we're not allowed originally because it's Dyson. So let's request approval and see if my metrics will let me sell it. And I'm not allowed to sell it yet. So I would need to send in an application for brand approval. So I would need to source it from a legitimate manufacturer and then send in my invoice of 10 plus units to get ungated, right? So this is not a good product, at least at this current time period. So I won't buy the Dyson. But I'm going to potentially look at this after the video. I'm also going to go back and buy those shoes.